Joining us from Washington, D.C., Dr. Mikongo Dibinga, Professor of Intercultural Communication at the American University. Hello, Dr. Dibinga. It's been a while. Great to have you back on the show. Another blast from the past, Joe Bob from Orange County, California, host of the Daily Caller Live, Turning Point USA contributor. Hey there, and here in our Tel Aviv studios, the one and only Dan Perry, International Affairs Analyst. Thank you, gentlemen, so very much for joining us today. Our main topic tonight, affirmative on action. The Supreme Court deeming race cannot be a factor for colleges to diverse themselves. So is the American dream of being judged solely by merit merely a myth?
It's a question of the ideal world versus the real world. Of course, colorblindness and individualism are excellent principles, but reality requires a bit more nuance. Affirmative action is based on the idea that past achievement does not always reflect potential because certain, and true merit, because certain marginalized groups haven't had the chance, and therefore they need a leg up or a second look. How to do it and how much to do it is, of course, the big question. So as with most things in life, a balance is required.
Dr. Dibinga, has affirmative action failed?
People always attach affirmative action to unqualified Black students. And as Mr. Perry was saying just a moment ago, he talked about giving people a second look. In many situations, it's giving students a first look. People who normally would not, like a Clarence Thomas, who normally, because of where they were attending school or the community that they were in, were not going to be able to make it through the application process at Harvard because they didn't have the resources and the knowledge base.
Why race has anything to do with those particulars is beyond me. There are rich Black people in this country. There are poor Black people. There are rich Asians, there are poor Asians. There are rich white people, there are poor white people. So to say that the color of your skin is solely determinative of how you can achieve in this culture is not accurate.
Look, I can help you out here because there's a reason why people think that. There is an enormous income gap in the U.S. and an even greater and completely inadmissible wealth gap. And it's understandable if you're talking about immigrants who came from poor and underdeveloped countries. But 10 generations down the road, if this is persistently the case, and if it diminishes not with great speed, then clearly there has been a failure. Ellie, it's not affirmative action that's failed. It's American society that has failed. And clearly there is an education failure. Clearly there is not enough being done in terms of frameworks and incentives. And therefore, a corrective action is needed. This is a matter of semantics,
really. But can you fix an injustice with an injustice? That's the basic question.
Well, the idea is that it isn't necessarily an injustice, because if you are making a special effort to identify the future potential of people who have not had the chance to show past achievement because they come from inner city schools which do not provide the same education as fine private schools, then obviously you're just attempting in some way to level the playing field. I do admit that it can feel terrible to people who were once dominant and now are the beheaded aristocrat. But there is an argument that the societal good is to increase the amount of happiness for the greatest number of people, and that's John Stuart Mill. It's not me speaking. This is genuinely a complex issue that I think we should be able to address without partisan bickering.
On that note, I will thank you very much for your time. 2 minutes, and we're back.